Hi everyone, and welcome to part 2 of my packing to go to a crop flying edition. I wanted to start off this portion of the video, and all of this video is going to be what is actually going into my bags. I'm going to share with you everything I'm taking, what I'm putting it into travel, what I have to use at the crop, and then when I get to the crop, hopefully I will remember to video an overview of my area. I have done that before. I will link that one to a previous one I went to in the description box below. One thing I didn't touch on last time, either in any other video or in part 1, is talking about clothing. So this is what I'm bringing for clothing. I'm not packed this far ahead. Don't be all that impressed. I just happened to do my laundry. So I'm like, oh, I'll go ahead and film this part right now. So I've got my clothing and then my pajamas and socks and underwear and stuff like that. I keep it very minimal. This is all I'm bringing. I love using packing cubes to go anywhere, especially for scrapbooking, because you can, when I pack my big bag, which is where my clothes go into, I have scrapbooking stuff in there as well. So it's very easy for me to take these out in the hotel room and then go ahead and take the rest of my stuff down to the room in which I will be scrapbooking. I keep what I wear very simple, very comfortable. So my advice is to wear whatever is what you consider comfortable clothing. And for everyone, that differs. You know, if you run hot, if you run cold, I suggest you dress in layers. Ballrooms, either at hotels or conference centers, are notoriously either really hot or really cold, and you never know what it's going to be until you get in there. I do various t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, sweatshirts. I bring yoga pants, leggings, sweatpants, and that way it runs the gamut of comfortable clothing. If you're someone who's most comfortable in jeans, wear jeans. Do try to pay attention that you will be indoors for the majority of the time. So even if it says it's going to snow, you don't necessarily need to bring a lot of clothing for the snow because you most likely won't be going out in it. Obviously, you should bring a jacket or some sort if you have to travel between, say, an airport and the hotel. I bring a big, comfy sweater. It's like a cardigan hooded sweater type thing. And that's what I will bring onto the plane with me. If I'm too hot on the plane, I'll simply fold it up and tuck it into my carry-on bag. But as that is the heaviest piece of clothing I'm bringing. So that is what I want to take on the plane with me. So dress for comfort. Make sure, if you're someone who runs hot all the time, don't just bring sweatshirts and stuff because it may run very warm in that hotel conference room, and then you're going to be hot and then you're going to be uncomfortable, and you want to be as comfortable as you can. Awesome. All right, next I'm going to show you what I'm packing. First I'm going to show you my backpack, and then I'm going to show you what is going into it. All right, so this is the backpack I will be taking. I use this as my personal item. This is a laptop backpack from eBags. I bought it because my laptop is very large, so I needed something that would fit that, and this one does. I will put a link to it or the closest. I don't know if they make this anymore, but if they don't, I'll put a link to the closest thing to it. So it can be carried as a briefcase or a backpack. I carry it as a backpack because that makes my hands free. So it fits a laptop, and then it has another larger pocket, and then it has this pocket as well with lots of little things for organizing. It also has a little slit area for a tablet. So what I'm going to do now is show you everything that's going to go into this backpack, and then I will actually pack the backpack. All right, so here's everything that's going to go into my backpack. The only other things that are going to go in my backpack besides the scrapbooking stuff is my laptop and the charging cord for it, and then my wallet that I use when I travel. This is actually new to me, but this is going to be what I use when I travel, and that obviously will have all of my money and my phone and blah, 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 blah. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to tell you what's going in there, move it to the side, and then once I've gone through everything that's going in there, I'll then pack it into the backpack, and so you can see how it will fit. All right, and this can just give you an idea of the types of things I bring. Maybe it'll jog that, oh, I want to bring that too, or maybe be like, oh, well, I don't need to worry about that. So I just wanted to give you an idea. So this is kind of a mixed bag of things. This has some mini alphas that are too tall to fit into what I normally store my mini alphas. Some random embellishments that if I've made a page kit, and most of what I'm bringing is page kits, and I just feel I need something a little bit extra. These are hearts and stars and circles and word and phrase stickers that just might be that little addition I need for my layout. I also have some stencils in here. I have a couple of doilies, and then I put a bunch of enamel dots, because even though I did put enamel dots into some of my page kits, enamel dots happen to be one of my favorite things. So I thought, hey, I might want to put that in on another page where I didn't initially add it. In this little 4x6 iris container, oh, in the bag, this came from Freckled Fawn when they used to put their kits in bags. And I was not a subscriber, I just would buy them when they were on clearance. This is a 4x6 iris container. You can get these at any of the big box stores. I'll put a link if I can find it below. This has flare, acrylic, and wood veneer, which are three of my go-to, once again, for just generic embellishments where I feel, you know what, this page kit isn't enough. I think I need a little bit of something extra. I also put a bunch of label cut aparts in here, both by Ellie's Studio and by Pretty Little Studio. And so if I need that for journaling, once again, if I didn't put one in my page kit, or I can't write on the background page and I need a label, I can use that. Then in this little bag, I bought A Week in the Life, and I did one album, and it was fun. I will admit it was fun, but it's not something I feel I need to do every year. In here I have volumes 1, 2, and 3. I just bought volume 3, and the matching wood veneer and acrylics for the Ellie Studio title stamp builder. And I just grabbed this little bag because they kind of fit perfectly. So I'm going to bring that as well, and hopefully I'll actually use them. I had several thicker word sets, you know, the ones I'm talking about that have words rather than alphas. And several of them had just 1 or 2 left in the entire pack. So I chopped them all up and I put them in here, and my idea is I will keep this on my desk and look through it when I'm starting to think about titles, and hopefully I'll get through a bunch of that. This is the rest of my mini alphas, and they all go right in here, and this is just easy enough to carry rather than going through all of this. This is enough that, you know, it travels well. I don't have to move anything out, so I'm just going to bring all of them. Woo! Now we're flying things. So this is by Art Basics by Premia. I got it at Michael's. It is a silicone brush. So it's in the shape of a paintbrush, but it's just a slab of silicone. And I use this to spread gesso on my pages. So in case I want to gesso something, I am going to go ahead and bring that. It gives you a nice thin coat of gesso. I just find I don't have to use a lot of gesso at all when I use that to spread it. I'm also bringing a media spreader for some molding paste in case I want to get mixed media-y. I'm bringing a brayer, and that would be for flat stickers because that is an awesome trick. If you don't know what I'm talking about, my friend taught me this. After you put down flat stickers, you brayer over them, and that helps burnish them into the paper, and it really works. I'm going to be bringing this small trimmer, and I got this on Amazon. Once again, anything I mention here, I'll put a link to in the description box below. I'm bringing a sleeve of dimensionals. I have both the regular size and the mini ones, and these are from Stampin' Up. I am bringing these cutter bee detailed scissors. I mentioned in the first part of this video that I take my Glitter Girl scissors into my check bag and I put these in my carry-on. I'm also bringing this. This is a Teflon baking sheet that works just as the same as the art media mats they sell, but it was like $3 rather than $15. I bring a T-square ruler and a centering ruler. This is the Thickers ruler guide. I like it very much, even though I bought it months ago and only started recently using it. I bring extra ATG. I've only ever once gone through a full ATG, but I am ever hopeful, so I bring several just in case. I am bringing my Tim Holtz tiny attacher, which I almost never use, but I always feel I need to have on me. And then I have a postcard for covering up photos when I want to mist. I have my triple banner punch from Stampin' Up! And then a notebook punch from EK Success. So now I'm going to put everything into the backpack and hopefully it all fits. All right, so I'm a little off on my camera angle, so I apologize. I forgot to mention down at the bottom, it's got a place to put your laptop plugger in your battery thing. And so, unfortunately, you can't see everything I'm doing. Basically, I'm just using the pockets to see. I slide in my media mat. I put my border punches down there at the bottom. There is the mini trimmer. I also managed to get in my Ellie Studio title stamps in there as well, along with the generic embellishments I packed both in that bag and then also in the little plastic iris case. So that is all completed, and now I'm going to use this little organizational area to fill in the rest. I add my tiny attacher in that large zipper piece, and I realized I need to slip my rulers in. I'm actually going to put those over by my laptop because my laptop is larger than them, so they fit quite nicely. In this smaller pocket, I'm going to put my dimensionals, and then over in this mesh one is where I add my ATG tape. Taking the time to zip everything up. I add my detailed scissors to this one over here. And honestly, I could have put more in there. I just don't need to. I added my brayer and the silicone brush and the media spreader in that gusseted pocket over there, and then I'm able to tuck my mini alphas in as well. And as I said, I still have room for my laptop and my laptop cord. Over on the side there, that's at the top, that's actually, you can put a water bottle in there. What I normally do is that's where my keys go to my car when I'm traveling, and then this little pocket that's meant for a tablet, that's actually where I keep my wallet. So that is what goes into, I'm showing you, this is where my laptop goes. So that is this one, and now I'm going to go back to pre-recorded. All right, next up is my carry-on. This is by Travelon, and like my other bags, I did get it on eBags. I do not believe this one is available anymore, so I will link it to a couple of newer versions. This is what's known as an under-the-seat carry-on. So on most airlines, it actually slides right under the seat in front of you. This is especially good for women who are short of stature because I personally cannot really touch the ground with my feet in an airline. So this is nice. I can prop my feet up on here. It is molded on the sides, so it's really nice in order, you know, it's not a smooshy one. But this is where the majority of the scrapbooking stuff I'm not checking goes into, all my paper kits and everything like that. So it has a pocket on the outside that has organizational stuff. I don't tend to put a lot in here. And then there's a huge pocket in here, and then there's a pocket here that's meant to be for a tablet. I obviously don't use it for that. I use it for scrapbooking supplies. So same as what I did with the backpack, I'm going to show you everything I put into here, and then I will go through and pack the bag. All right. All right, so this is what is going to go in my purple carry-on. I have all of my page kits. Also in here, I have a package of neutral cardstock. So in here is white, black, navy, and craft. I have my ATG. I have an extra t-shirt just in case I spill something on myself, which has been known to happen. I also have a water cup. I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of hot tea. So in the water cup, there actually is a bunch of tea bags because I'm slightly snobby about the kind of tea I drink. I also have the straw for this. I do not, however, put it in there to fly because if something knocks against it, it could crack it off. And then I also have this little pen bag, and I got this at the Ink Road. So in here, so this is really cute. You pop it down, so then all you see is the kitty face, and this has my blending brushes, my pens, my bone folder. I do have an X-Acto knife. I'm pretty sure I can bring that. And then I've got my pokey tool, and then I've also got a slick writer just in case I need to write on something that has a little bit of a smoothness to it that, you know, a regular pen doesn't like to dry on. So this is everything that's going in the purple carry-on. Oh, yes, sorry, there is one more thing that's going in there. I have a small orange bag. It's almost like a makeup bag, and that holds stuff like my, hold on, I've got it listed right here. It holds my, hold on, sorry, I'm on the wrong, here we go. It holds my Apple power cord, my regular USB power cord, 2 wall plugs. I have a double wall plug, and then I have 2 single wall plugs. You know, this kind of right here where it's got the USB. So I don't know which one I'll bring. It depends on which one I find first, to be totally honest. A power battery, and let's see, my earbuds and my Fitbit charger. All of those fit in that little orange bag, and they've got like little elastic loops. I left it upstairs, sorry. But so that goes in my bag as well. That is not going to go into my bag until like the day of the trip, simply because I'm using my power cords and the power battery. I want it to stay at full power until I actually go. So now that you see what's going in there, I am going to take this stuff out and then pack the bag. All right, I start and I put my ATG in this pocket up here, and I don't pack that too full because it does take up space in the bag. So because I pack stuff in the bag, I don't want to overpack that as well. I tuck my t-shirt in between the grooves where the extender to wheel it goes, and then I'm adding all of my page kits on top of that. I make sure the tops of my page kits, which are not all zippered up, are facing the upper portion. That will face up when it is rolling. And all of those are going in, and there's actually plenty of room, which is good because I actually forgot something in my main bag, so I'm going to have to move something over to this bag, probably my sneakers. So I put my water cup and I put that kitty cat bag. Now I'm tucking the straw in against the side. That is where my orange bag of power cords is going to go, and then where that space down at the bottom is, I'm going to tuck my cell phone adapter for my camera, for my filming. That is my carry-on. All right, so the first thing I'm going to talk about that goes into my big suitcase is my liquid bag. So I have a gallon size Ziploc bag here. I also put my mists into their own Ziploc bag simply because they're super liquid. So just in case they explode, they don't explode over everything, they just explode over themselves. The other things that go in here are my distress oxides that I'm bringing, and I'm just bringing a couple of my colors that I may use to stamp a title. That's usually, if I'm going to stamp, that's what I stamp for. I also bring my little mini cubes, and these are my neutrals gray, grayish, brown. And then I bring the little swirly doodad thingy, what's it called? Round blender brush that the foam things go on. And then I just take some washi tape and I kind of washi them together. One thing to be aware of with any ink you bring, now this does not always happen, but I've had it happen to myself and I've seen it happen to other people. Occasionally the pressure on the airplane will cause some of the ink to squish out. So when you go to take the lid off, there will have been ink gathered underneath the lid and it can send ink flying. So when you get to your destination and you go to open that ink for the first time, just be aware, don't, fling it up towards yourself. You can get ink on yourself, you can get ink on your page. So that has happened in the past. I also bring my glue and my little glue holder. Obviously, my glue holder and this are not liquid, but just because they go with these items, it's easier for me when I unpack everything to just have these already together. I'm then also bringing some molding paste, and then I'm also bringing some glitter paste because sometimes I want the glitter. So these just all go in here and they get tucked into my suitcase because obviously I cannot bring, now obviously the ink is not necessarily liquid, but it's liquidy enough for me to feel far more comfortable having it in here rather than having it roaming the rest of my bag, or in a bag that isn't, plasticky. And then I also just put some washi tape around the needle of my glue so it wouldn't accidentally fall out. It's never accidentally fallen out, but rather better safe than sorry. All right, I'm gonna move on to some of the organizers that I use at the actual crop. All right, so these are some of the things I pack in my suitcase that I use once I get to the crop. First is this item. It's called a Scrap-A-Ma-Bob. It's occasionally available on Amazon. I've seen it at some scrapbooking stores. Basically, it screws onto the table, it holds your drink, and then this portion is a little trash can, and it hooks on the front. Last time I checked on Amazon, because it had been discontinued, it was a ridiculous price. So if I find something where it's a decent price, I will link it. If not, I will link something similar that you can use to hold your drink and your trash, or just your drink at a crop. And all of these, as I said, go into my actual suitcase. And then I use them as organization once I get there. So I have my Totally Tiffany Ditto bag, and this is just a regular bag that, just like the bags that you can get pretty much anywhere, that's a crop tote. The difference with this one, if I get to the correct side, is it has oh, that's loud, a Velcro on one side. So it can sit at the back of your scrapping area. I have a Rogue wood veneer in there. And hold all your stuff upright, so that way you've got everything at fingertip. And sorry, Lordy, that's loud. And everything's in front of you, everything's held securely, and you have a place for everything rather than randomly putting stuff down around you. I then have these two fold-in files, and these are by the company 31. Once again, I'll link everything in the description box below. So these are really great because they fold flat, but then they open up like this. So I use these to hold my page kits. And I have this one left over. This wasn't one I had packed for the crop. So they hold a 12 by 12 page kit or a collection kit. Hang on, let me get an actual collection kit. Here we go. So here's an actual collection kit. And so I'll put all of my page kits in here. And then in the second one, I will put all of my thickers. So I bring a decent amount of thickers, so I do need some place to place it. This is one I've used quite often, so I just have it held flat with a binder clip. This one is actually brand new, so you'll see that one does have the pockets as well. And I don't actually normally use these pockets, but they're there if you want them. So as I said, one will hold all of my page kits and one will hold all of my thickers. All right, next up we have my Caterpillar crop. All right, hang on one second. All right, so this is my Caterpillar crop bag. I actually won this from the company on an Instagram contest. More Velcro, sorry. If you don't, they do sell it on their website. I will link it below. If you don't want to spend the money on that, before I won this, I just kept the box. My Caterpillar crop came in and I packed my Caterpillar in that. So what I do is the Caterpillar crop goes in like this. And then this would be wasted space. So what I do, so here are all the thickers I'm going to bring. I have a mix of black and gray and gold and all sorts of different ones because it's kind of like my one thing that I just bring too many of, and I just have to be okay with that. So all I do is use that as cushioning for my Caterpillar crop, because what you don't want, and what I've always been concerned about, is accidentally hitting this bar, because this is the bar that keeps the alignment. So by having these over that, it keeps that from getting knocked. Now I have no idea if this actually works or not. It's just what works for me. And it fits, and I can zip the bag, no problem. And there you go. And this squashes because they're thickers, so they're mostly, you know, they've got a lot of foam in them. So I've never had a problem packing this. I've packed it several times, and I usually have, I've never had a problem. I don't know why I say usually. Oy vey. All right, moving on. Hey everyone, so just to know, I'm getting down to the last couple of things that are going into my big suitcase. Before I do that, I do wanted to mention a couple of things that I forgot earlier. First of all, I do try to bring a unscented lotion, because some people have reactions to strong smells. So I do try to pick up just a trial size of an unscented lotion. I also usually bring a small pack of tissues. I just happen not to have any right now, but I will add those. And then two things I forgot to add to my checked luggage. First of all, my big scissors. These do go in my checked luggage. They're actually going to go in something I'm going to show you in a second. And then I also forgot my gesso, and this will go in my bag of liquids before I pack it as well. So the last couple of things I have, now this is just something that, because I film at the crop, I need. These are two folding shelves, and this one goes right on top of this bottom one. They nest together, and this is what I actually hook my adapter for my cell phone to film to, and it just gives it enough height over my project that I can film quite ably. Then next, I have this memory foam pillow. Quite often the chairs you get at the crops are just those banquet chairs that you sit at a wedding. And if you're going to be sitting there all day and night, your tuchus is gonna be a little sleepy, let's say. And so I find the memory foam pillows, and this is just once again from Amazon, and I will put links below. And then the final thing I'm bringing, and I am gonna stick my scissors in here, not that my scissors are any part of the rest of this, but just that way I know they're safe and they're not floating around my suitcase. So this is stuff from my stash that I no longer have a use for, so it's going to go on the give and take table. Quite often crops will have what's called a give and take table. Basically, you bring items from your stash that you're no longer going to use, and then other people bring their stuff and they're free to take from the table. You're free to take from the table anything that they don't want anymore that you might have a use for. So all of this is not going to come back with me. It is going to stay at the, well, hopefully it'll go home with other people. And then on the way home, this is where any leftover kits that I didn't use, any leftover pieces from the kits I used, but obviously I didn't use, let's say, this particular piece of paper, it will come home with me. And that way in my carry-on, I will have room for all of my completed layouts, because I prefer to keep those with me on the way home. That way, if something does happen to my checked luggage, it doesn't happen to my completed layouts. All right, so now I'm going to show you my checked suitcase, or me packing my checked suitcase. I am going to move you over because I can't get my big suitcase up on the table and let you actually see it. And so the lighting won't be as good. So I'm going to voice over that part as I have packing my other bags. So just so you're aware, the lighting is obviously going to change. Hey everyone, so here's my bag, and unfortunately I'm not really good at doing this, but I'm just showing you how I keep the weigher thingy in my bag, and then I go, oh look, it's upright. And so I don't really put anything in the front of my bag. I find it ends up getting ruined anyways, so there's no point. I realized I'd forgotten to grab a bunch of the things I meant to pack, so I just go and get them. I mentioned before those sneakers, I'm actually going to move them to my carry-on simply because I forgot to pack my toiletry bag. So this is a duffel bag, and I'm bringing this. I ordered some clothing items for the group I belong to be delivered there, so I'm going to need that second bag, but I'm flying Southwest, so I get 2 bags for free. I always put my Caterpillar crop down there at the bottom. It fits perfectly. I'm just tucking that empty bag in over at the side, and I'm just making sure that that is all the way down so I'm not creating gaps. I'm then going to put my packing cubes with my clothing. I put the big one in the center, and then I tuck the green one, the smaller one, in the side between the packing cube and the empty bag. And you'll see I put my sneakers right there. So all I'm going to do is pull those out and put my toiletry bag where they are, and then move those over to where the sneakers were. I I added my iris case, and then the other organizational pieces, the Ditto bag and the Holden vials. Unfortunately, I forgot where the camera was, and I stood in front of it the entire time I was doing that, so you couldn't see anything anyways except my butt. And you're seeing my butt now, so hey, bonus. I don't know, whatever. All right, so I just went ahead and put my cushion on top, and that squishes down, and that's actually why I was having trouble closing it, was because of the memory foam cushion needed to be squashed down. And now I'm going ahead and weighing it. I was at 40.7 pounds. So obviously I still had 10 pounds to go, no problem. And obviously my bag will be lighter on the way home because I'll have that extra bag, and that's where all right, and that completes my packing to fly to a crop in 2019. If you have any questions, or if I did not link something you have an interest in, please just drop a comment below and I will get back to you. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. It just helps my channel get seen and these videos get noticed, so more people get help with what they need in regards to packing for a crop. All right, folks, have a wonderful day. Bye.